You know, whenever we travel outside of the West Coast, folks is like, "Oh, you're from Seattle? I didn't know they had hip hop out there." I'm like, "Are you kidding me, man?" Like, it's on one hand, it sucks, but at the same time, the folks that are out here have a real opportunity to define over the next several years what it is that Seattle is all about. You got to take into account the fact that this is, for the last like 15 years, has been primarily like an indie rock kind of town. And so our hip hop scene, even though it's definitely its own thing, has had to coexist, you know, and play in the same venues. The music scene's real small, so like a lot of folks hear about each other. I think that's also part of the identity of the Seattle hip hop scene, is that it's a you know, about a medium-sized city, probably as big as like, you know, Milwaukee or Cleveland or something like that. So it's by no means like a small town, but the scene is actually, you've been in it for a couple years, you'll know everybody.
I think it's not so much like something that's specific to hip hop or like the Seattle community in general. It's just right now we're at a time where people think individualistically and not in terms of collective effort. Then it's going to definitely be the crabs in a barrel thing going on. Yeah. And yeah, there's definitely more of a hood mentality, I think, with the particular business that we're talking about right now. And it has more to do with what is it? People who don't see other people's success as something that they can also take pride in. It's like, it's more of it's a jealousy thing. And jealousy happens a lot. I mean, if there's a Seattle community that doesn't have that as much, I'd say it's the indie rock world, which is why they're so successful. Because they support each other a lot. I mean, like, I remember we did a...
Folks don't come from a community in which, you know, are more likely like communities of color or community, like working class communities where like where people fight for scraps and compete with each other all the time.
That's what that's kind of what we're talking about, is that like it's not the hip hop or like the music in general. So if you look at the destructive behavior that has been
like imposed
upon the communities that like maybe are part of this music or part of this business.
Yes.
I mean, it's the same thing. Like, why is it that first homie that goes to college, everyone, when he comes back, everyone's like, "Fuck that dude." It's the same thing, you know what I mean? It's not like other neighborhoods where it's like, "Oh, I went to college, that's great. Yeah. Now I'm inspired to do the same thing." Yeah. And it's not even. I'm not blaming the town at all. It's because it's not a fault of the people who are, you know. It's something that has been, minds have been poisoned by the picture.
Yeah, I'll comment on, so yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to leave a salty taste in anybody's mouth that's watching this and saying like, wow, the Seattle scene's just not clicking like that. I think there's other forces outside of the artists themselves that are dividing us. You know, there's just from the top levels of the hip hop music industry nationally, they've done a good job.
Or the economy in general.
Yeah. You know, they've split us into like, oh, there's gangster rap, there's conscious rap, there's backpack rap, there's rock rap, there's, you know, and they're like, it's almost like they're fragmenting what once was like, it was just all hip hop. You know, like if you were growing up listening to like Rap Attack, or even like nationally on Yo MTV Raps, you had like a Digable Planets video, Snoop Dogg video, De La Soul video, Arrested Development. You have like all types of weird shit. And over here it's like they fragment and then they'll focus only on one at a time. And it's almost like they don't want no cooperation. And I'm not with that. And at the same time, I never blame, you know, any of the other artists in this town themselves. Just like I hope they wouldn't.
You're not blaming the artists, they're blaming the people. But at the same time, like, it's more on coming from a place of love and encouragement. It's like we do have the power to change that.